Hi all and welcome to today's card creation. Today we're going to be making a card with some soft elements to it with the Hopeful Flowers stamp set and dies. We'll also be using the sentiments from the Let Love Grow stamp set. It's got a beautiful font in that stamp set and I have to pinch the happy birthday from there because as far as I'm concerned you can never have too many happy birthday cards in your stash. So I'm going to start off with some grey inks. I've got the Lawn Fawn Narwhal. So this is the lighter of the two grey inks that I've chosen for today's card. Now I've got a square white panel that's been die cut with the stitched square dies here. And then I'm going to just randomly stamp this. And then I'm going to fill in the places where I couldn't get into with the bigger stamp and just fill in some of those little filigrees and flowers as well. So this is all with the lighter grey. So today's card and the tone of the card is blues, silvers and greys. The touch of silver is going to come from the Wow embossing powder in the silver, the metallic silver colour, and that I'll be using the super fine. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to stick a grey frame of the same stitch dies just around that to add like a border. Now with a scrap piece of cardstock here, I've got the Hero Art Shadow ink in the soft granite and I'm going to stamp the largest image again and I'm going to colour this in with some Copics. Now I'm not doing full colouring, so I was able just to use just one Copic colour, two Copic colours, and that was going to be enough for the colouring. It didn't bleed. I've got this white cardstock is Copic friendly, and I'm just going to die cut this out before I colour it in. And I've got some purple tape here to secure it to while I put it through the Big Shot machine. So I've got a white card base. Then I'm going to place a light blue. This is like a baby blue colour cardstock, just about 1/8 inch smaller, just to create that white border frame. Here is the square stitched frame, and I'm going to put that over the actual stamped image that I had already done there. Okay, then I can start with the colouring in. I do fiddle around with a bit to make sure that it is all on straight. And I'm going to place it on either opposite corners here. I'm just getting the placement and see if I was happy with that. So that's going to sit towards the right part of the cardstock. So here I've got some Copic markers. I've got here the Frost Blue B00. I'll be using the grey C2 as well for the leaves, and then a bit of Mimosa Yellow YG2200 to colour in the centre of the florals. And here I am colouring in both of those images. I am going to speed this up a little bit faster, so I don't usually colour this fast, but just so I don't bore you with all the colouring, there's no yeah, I'm just kind of just winging it and just colouring it in. There's no particular method that I follow here with my Copics today. And then once I'm happy and I've filled in all the colours that I've done, I just now set that aside and grab my foam squares and start placing the foam squares behind those images. Now if you want that extra shadow, you can come in and just add some extra of the greys and add an extra layer. With Copics, the more you colour in, the more layers you can put towards your colouring. The thing is though, if you're not using a Copic friendly cardstock, it will bleed. Sometimes if you are using Copic friendly cardstock, there is a chance it could bleed if you oversaturate. So here's the happy birthday from the Let Love Grow stamp set. I've got a strip of vellum here and I'm going to stamp that with a clear ink. Today I've got the Wow embossing ultra slow drying clear ink. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's amazing. So I'm just making sure that's stamped properly. I've got the metallic silver here in superfine, and I'm just going to heat set this. I've got a scrap piece of paper to catch any of the actual fallouts, and so I can generously pour the embossing powder over. Now I'm going to be able to heat set directly on my glass mat because it is a glass mat and it is heat resistant, so it actually can speed the heat embossing process that little bit quicker. So my trick here is when I'm adhering vellum, sometimes I try not to adhere and I use an extra length of the vellum to tuck in if I can, because sometimes I feel like the adhesives you can see the adhesive through the vellum. So depending what you use, but to prevent me having to worry, I used a bigger strip than normal and wrapped that around, and then I secured that with some foam tape. So this square element here of the card is going to be popped up, and I'm going to also be putting adhesive behind these little filigree images as well. I'm just getting a bit of a placement idea how I'm going to place that down and fiddling with the arrangement. Now to the top right there, I've got some sequins given by Trinity. They have got an array in their store and they'll be releasing more and more. So I have used a iridescent sequin which doesn't have the center cut out. There is a proper name to this, but I don't have it with me and I don't know it off by heart, but I will put it in my product description below. So I'm kind of just fiddling around now here with the array of sequins, trying to figure out how to place them, how many. It's often best to go in odd numbers, so I'm trying to achieve that, but just making sure I'm spreading enough around without overdoing it. I think there's a little bit of element where you can overdo it, so I'm just trying to be careful. So I've got some Couture Creations Crystallina glints here, and I'm just placing it into the center of the flowers just to add that extra little bit of glimmer and sheen to my card. And that's really it. It's finished off, and that's it for my card. So I hope you enjoyed today's quick card creation. It is quick and you can easily mass produce this. And thanks for watching. Have a lovely day.